Hi guys. I hope you're faring well or at least doing okay amid the concerning chaos of our current crisis. Wow, that was quite the alliteration. I didn't mean to do that. But in all seriousness, I hope that you're okay, and I hope that your family's okay, and I hope that your community is okay. This is a tough challenge for the nation, for the world, and as well as our local communities. And in light of that, well, actually, before moving, let me address seniors. Seniors, I know that you must be profoundly disappointed in this whole intrusion, this disruption of your last semester, of your last year at Furman. You have worked so hard to get here and to not have the moments of the last semesters, though that mark this final milestone, that lead up to this final milestone. I know that you must be just not just disappointed but heartbroken, and I'm hopeful. I know that Furman will find a way in the future to mark this milestone for you. You deserve it. And yet we also know that these moments can't be gotten back. So I want you to know that I'm thinking about you, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for you. We have, professors and students, been tasked with carrying on with our classes remotely. And that means that we have to make some adjustments to our schedule, and also the way that we meet and teach. So this video is just to kind of give you an overview of how I'll be carrying on the class. Let me also assure you, though, that my goal isn't to put a lot of work on you just for the sake of a lot of work. I have tried to streamline, and I will continue to find ways to streamline, to be clear, to be very concise and judicious about assignments and about readings. Um, on the one hand, but on the other hand, covering the material that I think gets us, or at least helps me to help you meet the goals for the teaching goals for this class. So let me give you. I'm going to first. Let's. I'm going to share. I'm going to share the screen with my Microsoft PowerPoint, and this is what's gonna look like during the mini lectures that I'll be doing, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Get to the slideshow here. All right, so let me give you an overview of what the changes to the course are. Well, these are, before doing that though, I've included the slide here with the two actually, but one in particular important deadline that's been extended, and that's the course withdrawal. And I'm not encouraging you at all to withdraw from the course. However, I know that this whole situation is anxiety producing, and it can really undermine our mental wellness, our mental well-being. And so I want you to, in consultation with those that you trust and whose counsel you trust, to think about taking care of yourself. So know that that's an option if things are just, you cannot find a way forward to do what you need to do to pass the class. There are certain assignments that you must complete in order for me to assign a grade in the course. So about class meetings, I mentioned this in the note that I sent earlier, that as opposed to having a Zoom meeting where you all kind of come to class, it's called synchronous, and everyone's logged on to Zoom, and I lecture and we interact and we engage. As opposed to doing that, I think I've taken the asynchronous route, and that's where I post lectures like this one and post assignments, and you complete the assignments and then submit this all digitally. Now there will be deadlines for completing the work, but you'll have it's more time than just within the window of just class time. I wanted to make allowances first and foremost for the fact that professors all over the United States, indeed all over the world, may be using Zoom, and so I'm concerned about the platform itself. Although there are probably other Facebook means of doing it, I'm most familiar with Zoom. So I worry about the platform. Some professors will have to use Zoom on campus just because they have their classes, their subject matter requires interactivity. It requires your being able to ask questions and have them answered in the moment. That's part of the teaching. So I'm going to leave that space for them. So, but our class lends itself to more posting lectures and submitting work electronically, and then having that work being returned the same way. I will have individual meetings with Zoom meetings with students at least twice between now and the end of the semester, and we can talk about anything you want to talk about. We can talk about your paper. We can talk about how I'm grading your work. Um, uh, any other emotional concerns that you might have. I'll send out a sheet like I did when I asked you to meet with me to talk about your exam one. I will send in a week or so. I'll send out that electronic sign-up sheet, and we'll meet by either Skype, or we can FaceTime, or we can also have a Zoom meeting. So look to receive that. So between now and the end of the semester, we're going to have 6 lectures. I call them mini lectures, and it really is going to cover everything that I intended to cover. Recall that starting in March, or from March through the end of the semester, we were going to be meeting less. There were a couple of meetings where there was Easter break. There was going to be Furman Engage, so those are 2 days that we were not going to meet. And then we had the Saturday classes earlier, which meant that there were three classes at the very end of the semester, class sessions that we were not going to meet, but I was going to meet with you individually. So because we had those gaps, or we had those spaces in the schedule, we won't be losing a lot. So here are the 6 mini lectures. You can see that when I say mini lectures, as I say here, it's 10 to 15 minutes each. So earlier I said I'm going to try to streamline, be clear, be concise. Each lecture will have a journal assignment. You already have that assignment set up. So you can use the journal assignment as evidence of further evidence of your engagement in course and course material. Skype, I think I talked about the Skype meetings, the individual Skype meetings. There's 6 to 8 documentaries that I'm also going to ask you to watch. Because the lectures are so short, so I'm not going to spend an hour or 30 minutes on a lecture. You'll have the time to watch documentaries that will give you context for some of the speeches and readings that we're going to be analyzing. The date for exam 2, I'm not sure what that date is, and I'm not sure what the format will be. So I'm going to think about that a little bit longer, but I'll be sure to tell you to announce that. Current event assignments, all of them are now due April 7th. So just get those into me by April 7th. I would appreciate, though, if you got them in earlier. Let me strongly encourage you to keep up with the work, and don't wait until the end of the term. Because again, I do stress, while there is flexibility, I cannot give you a grade unless you complete the work. Complete the work on time as well, so that we can keep moving through the semester and get everything that we need to complete all course content, and then ultimately get that grade at the end of the term. Your final paper abstract. An abstract is it's actually just telling me what you're going to do in the paper. The most important content in that abstract is the two texts that you'll be using. You'll select a reading from the class, and then you'll also select a contemporary reading. And I think I say this in the assignment description for the paper, if you have a reading that's not on the course syllabus, but it was either published or written or produced before uh, before 1970. Just give me a heads up that that you want to do that reading instead of something on the syllabus. So let's talk about it, and let me give you and you just confirm with me that that's okay. I also have the YouTube channel. It's not, and it says here Cynthia King's YouTube channel. That's wrong. It should say COM 318 African American Rhetoric. That's the channel. And what I will have you do is to get onto, it's an open channel, so you can just find it, Google it, I mean, go to YouTube, do a search for it, find it, and I'll have you just kind of confirm that you have successfully gotten onto the page, and that you've been able to open the video. And that's kind of how I'll be taking roll, and I'll be keeping up with who's looking at and viewing the channel. I'll refine that accountability as we go on, but for now, you will have gotten the email instructing you to look at this video, and then you'll want to go down to the comment section and just say video watched, successfully opened video, something like that. And let's see, tomorrow I believe I'll post the second lecture, and I think we're still on African American women, so I'll post the second lecture, and there'll also be a documentary. So I think that's all for now. Know that I'm thinking about you. I so enjoyed you as a class. I enjoyed coming to class, teaching and engaging you, and I'm hoping that you're learning, and that you'll still learn some things as we go through the material, and as you encounter the videos, and also the lectures and the assignments. So please stay well, and that is all that I have for now. Take care.